And we're live. Good evening, Mike. How are you? Oh, I am beat today. Beat. Um, I I did a good job today of and yesterday of emptying out. I don't know. I'd say I probably got a good 2/3. No, half. A third to a half of the container. I got about a third to a half of the container emptied out, and uh, I am. I'm looking forward to emptying out the rest. So tonight, in fact, I was thinking of doing it tonight. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do another one tomorrow. I might just do Fridays. But if I do one tomorrow, I'm gonna see if I can drag the camera over to outside. I got to get a mic out there somehow so I can just you know pick up the stuff and chat while I'm at it. Actually, I could move the computer. Yeah, tomorrow maybe I'll set up the computer on one of the shelves. I could do that because all I really got to do is set up the computer. I've got Wi-Fi and the cameras with the computer. This thing's with the computer with a long cord, so I'll be able to move around. Yeah, I'll probably do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll um, do some moving around or some organizing or something or other. I don't know. I'll think it over because it's pretty noisy. I bang on the. I'm taking apart the shelves, so that's one thing. I want to see if I actually if I get a chance to. I'll let me see if I can download. Nah, I'll have it ready for tomorrow. Or for Friday. I'll download all the. I've got video camera footage of me clearing stuff out, and then what I'll do is I'll download that and perhaps make it nice and fast forward, time lapse, and I'll do that. Let's see, where is that cord? That's this one. That's fine. Good enough for government work. Bunch of cords in the way. On the road to Utah, are you gonna see the vice presidential debate live? That's gonna be interesting. Not very. I don't think it's gonna be very entertaining live. That is, or entertaining in any other way. Yeah, I don't know when they're having that, but Utah, huh? Vacation, seeing family. What's the deal? Road trip, vacation. I mean, work. How's it going, Ed? How you doing? So, somebody out there, give me a topic, so I'll talk about something. If not, I'll pull up YouTube and see what. Let's see what kind of YouTube stuff is out there today. Um, let's see. Trending. Okay, trending. Okay, let's filter out all the politics. Let's filter out all the games. I don't need to know about the biggest. That's the problem with trending. None of it's Kitchen Island. Do it yourself. Kitchen Island. Well, there's an interesting topic. Well, interesting to me because I'm building a house, but not a chance going on vacation to Paradise, Utah to see friends. Excellent, excellent. That's good. That's good to know. um, So, what do you guys think of kitchen islands? If you had the space, or whether you have the space or not, do you think it's a good idea, or do you not like the idea of a kitchen island? And if you do like, the idea of a kitchen island, what would you put in the kitchen island? Like, for instance, um, I was considering in my final plan, if I have to look it all over and see if I have the space. But if I have the space, I was thinking of putting an island with see the different option. Let me give you some options. One of the options is a sink, so you can clean up dishes and stuff, and then possibly even a dishwasher, in that area, or maybe a sink for food prep, and you'll do food preparation there, um, or a like a bar, not, like a table for people to, in sink on one side, perhaps on a lower level, and then a bar so people could sit on stools, or whatever, and eat there, which tied in with the cleanup. You can just take the dishes, just into the trash, wash, and possibly, if there's a dishwasher underneath, have them ready. Eh, I don't know. I don't know. Another idea is, my parents were, years ago, when my dad remodeled the kitchen, he actually placed a stove. I mean, a whole, a Gen Air, top of the line, with replaceable little things on it, stovetop, oven, that whole thing, and it also had a different accessories like a deep fryer and all that other stuff, which was really cool. Well, that was on the kitchen island. Now it turns out he didn't have enough space, so he ended up extending one side and just making a counter. So it kind of became, I don't know, more problematic than anything else, because there's only one way into the kitchen. Trash compactor. Yep, that's a definite plus. Put a trash compactor in the in the kitchen island. Yeah, I'm trying to. I have mixed feelings about trash compactors. It's like, I like trash compactors. Hey Dave, how's it going? I like trash compactors in the sense that, well, they're cool. I remember when I first got my first trash compactor, I thought it was the most fascinating thing in the world. And oh, excuse me. But you got to buy, well, you should buy heavy duty trash bags for it, or they'll fall apart. So there's an extra expense there. One would argue that you're not buying as many, but you know the cost of a million bags, and then you can go green and say, oh well, it's no less in the landfill. Well, I don't know what to tell you. The trash compactor that we had always stunk, always stunk. You know, oh, they would have that special spray and stuff, that deodorizer, but it always stunk. I'd rather have, just a regular kitchen bag. You take them out once a day, and then you're done. I mean, in my family, once a day. It could be once or twice. I mean, like here at the RV, I'm by myself. I take that bag out once a week. Uh, so I don't know. I don't know. It's a great thing to have, but I'd have to try it out for a while in the new house before I make a final judgment call on whether it's a good idea or not, or so. Let's see. So yeah, kitchen island. That's the first YouTube thing I saw, so that's what the current subject is. Yeah, you got to have space for a kitchen island, and I think I don't know. My opinion, the best type of kitchen island is one where, people eat there. Maybe four stools, space for four, and so you could have a couple friends over and stuff. And I remember I used to go to a buddy of mine's house, John. A close friend of mine, and I loved John's parents. May they rest in peace. John's mom was this wonderful, dear lady who, if you look at the old 50s, you know, or even 50s black and white family type, or even like Happy Days or something. Pick a typical mother, you know, mother slash housekeeper slash, and combine her with the kindest woman, kindest elderly woman. She was. They gave birth to John late in life, so she was up there. Kindly, kind. Think of the kindest old woman with white hair that you could ever imagine. That was her. That was John's mom, and always, I'd be sitting and talking with John. Are you hungry? Would you like a hot dog? Oh, I'll fetch you a hot dog. Make it. And I go, yeah, sure, Mrs. And the type of person that you would always call her Mrs. So and so. You'd never even think to calling her by her first name, even if she asked you. It's that type of person. Those are very fond memories I had. I used to have. I used to sit for I don't know how long. We used to just hang out, John and I, and talk about electronics and everything under the sun. I almost miss those days. I wish I could. It's funny, we talk about going back to the future, or sometimes going back, or if I knew then what I knew now, or or looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. All these nostalgic terms come to mind. And I think that what I would truly want, if it were possible, if wishes were horses or whatever, if it were possible, I think that what I would love is to be transformed into my young mind, just go for a visit, not change anything. I had some hard knocks, but I had a great life. I have had a great life throughout. So I remember a lot of memories fondly. I would just love to go back and sit in the shoes of that young kid during some of those really fond memories. Relive them again, truly relive your youth, and it's funny though, because it's, a lot of us talk about going back or reliving our youth. A perfect example, you guys know I made an arcade machine. I got it. I brought it home. I made the arcade machine, and it plays 12,000 games. It plays every game under the sun. And my favorite is Robotron, and it's nice to play and stuff. But I can remember when I was a kid, I don't know, 16, 17 years old, I would go to the pizza place. I'd go to the arcade, obviously, but I'd go to a pizza place in particular, and they had a couple of my favorite, Super Pac-Man and Tron, and they would. I just spent quarter after quarter, and I was pretty good at those games because it was the same game. So I would just one quarter would last a long time. Now, Charlie was a smart business owner. He would change the game every month or two because he knows people get used to the game, and then we'd complain, oh, we love the game, but then whatever new games came in, Galaxian or Galaga or whatever it might be, Zaxxon, whatever it might be. I remember fond memories of me playing all of them. My favorite was Robotron. And I would spend hours and hours and hours because on one quarter I could literally go for hours and till closing time even. I had a blast in those days. And now you look back and you can't do that. You can't. You think you might. You go, oh, yeah, I'll play those games for a long time. No, you get on the game and you go, oh, nothing's new anymore. This is not as fun as I remember it to be. Because really, we do look at the world through rose-colored glasses. And, it's just not the same. It's not the same. I wish when we remember stuff or when we do stuff over, I wish it would be the same. It's I think that's why a lot of old people are grumpy all the time, because I, for one, I'm a person who loves to learn. I'm sure many of you have fallen into this category. I love to learn new things. I love to experience new things. I mean, some kids they experience excitement, and that's why they're always on a death wish trip, or they're jumping off mountains or parachuting. That's never been me. I get the thrill from learning something new and having that wonderful aha moment. I don't like the scare. I like the newness though. Everybody likes the newness. I don't know what it is about our brain that's connected to learning something new, but I'll tell you, newness wears off quick. We do something and we go, well, that's it. It's over. Even the property, even the property. I when I first, I mean, you hear it in my voice in my first videos when I was landscaping. I was and in my lives, my Facebook lives that I did a couple years ago. I could, I was telling people I could sit here forever in front of the lake and just take it in. And to a certain degree, I felt that way again today. But the landscaping today I mowed the lawn. Very tiring. Well, most of the lawn. I still got a little section left, because I started at 6 and I only did an hour and a half. It usually takes 2 hours to 2.5 to fully mow the lawn. Oh, and I spent an hour before that putting on new blades. So now I love new blades on a mower, especially my mower, because it goes through blades and in a month they're already worn down where they're tearing the lawn. And so, well, I put the new blades on. I'm very happy about them. And mowing the lawn or landscaping in general, when I first got here, I felt like a pioneer. I felt like everything was new. I felt like, I could tackle this land. And now it feels like, this land is so small. It's not really a challenge. There's nothing to it. I don't want to say I'm bored. There's still a lot to do, but I'm not excited as much as I was in the beginning to do it all. I'm looking forward to I'm definitely looking forward to the house. I'm having fun now moving all this stuff out, but, hey, yay, how's it going? Yeah, it's newness wears off quick. I got to tell you, and that's what everybody looks for. I mean, even at my age, especially at our age, we look for something Everything's old. Everything, we've done it all before. I've seen it all before. And at the risk of sounding arrogant, once again, with a high IQ, you do it all faster. So it's it's you soak up stuff faster than that. Sometimes I envy, again, not to sound arrogant, but I can't help it when I say this statement. I In some ways I envy slow learners because they'll get the joy. Maybe I'll say slow thinkers, not slow learners, because slow learners, that's probably torture for them trying to get it and not getting it. But slow thinkers, you know, they take learning in life at a completely different pace. John, I got 5 acres here. It's only 5 acres. It's but considering I lived on a sixth of an acre growing up, and then when I got married, I bought a fourth of an acre, and it's just living in the city is a nightmare. Is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. After 54 years, it was great when I was young. Um, Times were considerably different. The everybody said it. You could leave your door unlocked. Nobody's going to steal anything. That's how it is down up here. I mean, you could leave your door unlocked, and I still wouldn't. But I've left extension cords out on the lawn here and visit the property. Come back a month later, visit the property. It's stay laying in the same exact place. And I've had a couple things where my neighbors said, "Hey, listen, I saw it lying around, so I just picked it up for you. It's over behind that tree." It's a whole different pace when you're out in the country. But in the city, and particularly that city that I grew up in, it's not the same as it was at all. During my teenage years, it was a blast. It was we would play, and I've mentioned this before. There were no fences in the front yards. So imagine, if you will, let me count them. It was Wendy's house, Gwynn's, my house, then it was Gene Levy, then it was the Palmerances. There was then it was the lady with the dog. Never knew her. Then it was Alex's house, and then it was Leon. So we had 8 houses. 8 houses. 16 on each block. 8 in the front, 8 in the back, and there were basically our little area was 2 blocks. That was kind of the neighborhood that we knew everybody. I had a buddy of mine. Uh, Mike Lauder. Oh man, I miss Mike. See if I can get a hold of him on Facebook. He taught me everything there was to know about go-kart racing. Oh man, I got a go-kart and I raced it around. We had a there was an elementary school behind our house, and K through 6, and it was a huge field. Now there is the elementary school, a middle school, and a second middle school, and no land whatsoever. It's all concrete. It is just, before there was just so much. It was an entire, a good block. It was let's see, 8 by 75 would be 600. It was probably 600 feet by 1,500, I would say. Not by 1,200. So 600, no, by 1,500. 600 by 1,500. So we're probably looking at 10 acres. And the school was on a small portion of it. And now there's nothing left. But we used to ride around, and it was the big field. We called it the park. It wasn't a park; it was the field of the. But anybody was allowed inside. They had little opening that nothing was locked, and I would drive my golf cart, my golf cart, my go kart in there because it was. I would go around my block to the other side of my block on the sidewalk, and I just crossed the street, and there was the park. So it was behind my house, but behind the neighbors, in front of the neighbors behind me's house, whatever. It was great. Oh, it's fantastic times. We used to go there. So I used to go there. My brother had a go-kart, a golf cart, a go-kart also. I had a go-kart. My brother had a go-kart. Mike had a go-kart. And this other kid, Kenny Shishka, I think was his name. He was the pothead of the neighborhood. I don't know whatever became of him. At the time, I don't know. Not many of us had any. He I think he matured a little later in life. But anyway, 4 of us, and really nobody associated with Ken. It was the 3 of us, and we would ride, and then my brother would take turns with a couple of friends. Albert, who lived near in the neighborhood, who also went to school with my brother, and my best friend Steven across the street from me, and we would be riding the go-karts all over. It was fantastic. And I ended up the go-karts originally was just a standard stock go-kart with a 3.5 horse engine. Well, I couldn't have that, so I ordered a hey mom, I need a different I need some parts for the go-kart. Okay, yeah, no problem. So I didn't tell her what parts. I just ordered a new engine. It was a 5-horse engine. And then eventually I went up to an 11-horse engine. That cart could easily do 50, 60 miles an hour on the street. And it rode up high. Then later I bought a racing go-kart, and I used to race at Michelle's Cartway. And there were 3 of us. There was Michelle, who was he was Michelle's son. He was Michelle and Michelle. He oh my God, he was always in first place. I mean, he owned the track. His father owned the track, so he always had the best of all because they had a shop and everything where they would work on go-karts. And Mike, my neighbor Mike, would always come in second. Every now and then, I came in second. Why? Because Mike or Michelle were out. And every now and then, twice, I came in first. Because both Mike and Michelle were out. And I was, I had a 25-horse engine. And that thing was low to the ground. And we used to, on the straightaway, we could hit speeds of about 90. If we opened her up, probably could soup up to 110 stuff. We had disc brakes on that thing. Those were fun times. That was a thrill. I mean, adrenaline like you wouldn't believe. That was fun. But like I was saying earlier, there's just so many times you can do something before it gets old, and learning is fun. Learning is fun still to this day. I love learning new things, and I gotta be honest with you. Google and YouTube, to a certain degree, I appreciate it because they have, on the one hand, they take the fun out of everything, and on the other hand, because they make it too easy to learn. And then on the other hand, it's so simple to learn. If you want to learn anything, I don't care what you want to learn. You pick a subject, and it's online. It's online. See, when I changed my mower blades today, when I changed my belt. When I change the belt on the riding mower, I basically have to. I got to do one of two things. I either have to lift the thing up and crawl underneath, and I'm not going to do that. When I get the new house, I'm going to have a special lift to lift the mower up, and then I'll just do it from the underneath, and I'm done. But at the moment, what I do is I loosen 6 bolts and drop the deck. Move the mower out of the way. You could roll the deck out, but it's heavy. So, and I'm on grass, so I'm not going to drag it. I just turn on the mower and climb right over the deck and get out of the way. And then you take the belt off besides the 6 bolts. Then I flip it over, use a braking bar because it's always, impact driver won't do it. You got to use a breaker bar. So I swapped them, put the belt back on, but I saw the belt was a little cracked. So I go, I better order a new belt to have it as a backup. So I ordered, I looked and I ordered a new belt. Now it's fantastic that YouTube has, my belt is all worn out and I have no idea what number it was. I should keep that number handy. 135 1278, something like that. It's a 189-inch belt by 5/8. It's 5/8 by 189. It's just ridiculously long. But the Toro. So I looked up Toro Titan 2000 HD 60-inch, and I looked at. I had the darndest time. But while I'm looking up the belt, and I found the belts I needed at everything from $35 to $180. That's the spectrum we're talking about of markup or quality, whatever you may think. And I came across a bunch of YouTube videos. Going back to what I said about everything is out there. They show you how to put on the belt. And then, I get lost and then I'm clicking and one thing to another. And then they showed me how to put on the back belt, which I've done twice before. It's popped off, the transmission drive belt. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Pretty soon, when I get my lift finally, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to drop one of the 2 hydro static transmissions, the hydro whatever transmissions, because one of the fans in one of them is all torn apart. They're plastic fans that cool it, but one is torn apart. It's been that way for the longest time. I never really hadn't had a problem with it, but I want it to work properly. So I gotta work on it. Well, sure enough, half a dozen videos on exactly how to change the fan, layer by layer, how to drop it, how to everything. I'm telling you, there's a video for anything out there, anything. So pretty soon, this is going away, and I'll create a little office elsewhere, but not a problem. Not an issue whatsoever. And pretty soon I'll have my construction office on the premises. But this is a nice, relaxing place to go for the moment. I'm working all day. It's nice to have a fridge and with your food, so you don't have to spend an inordinate amount of money outside. It's nice to have at least a microwave. So, anybody have any topics you'd like to discuss? or should I look on YouTube and see what else is trending? We discussed kitchen islands. Anybody share with me one of your interests? Let's see. Composite decking. There's a good one. What do you guys think of composite decking? I don't know if I'm a fan or not. I like the concept. I would love composite decking if and only if, first of all, if it looks like wood. I don't want something that doesn't look like wood because, I like the wood look, but I like the natural look and stuff. But at the same time, I need something that will weather well, because if I'm going to spend a crazy amount of money on fancy decking, and then in 10 years, the sun's going to beat it down where it becomes brittle and cracks, let's see here. How long does composite decking last? It says between 25 and 30 years. Minimal upkeep and can last between 25 and 30 years. Yeah, I'm not a fan of composite decking. 25 years doesn't seem that long to me. I mean, it's okay, but you know what it is to have to completely reinvest either the money or the time to redo the composite decking. Excuse me. I don't think it's for the price, when you figure wood decking lasts 15 years, and really more. It's supposed to last 15 years, but yeah. Yeah, and John, I don't know if yeah, that how much land do I have here? I have 5. So, but elsewhere I got 20, and a few other properties. So, I mean, this is my home. I mean, this is my future home. Man, I really went into the woods today with the grass. Oh, I know what that was. That was hay. No fair getting a splinter. I don't have anything to pull it out with. Yes. Ha ha ha. All right. Yeah, I guess I got into one of those pieces of grass. These little I can't describe them, but I'll show them to you. I don't know. I guess they're just grass seeds. There you go. You can't even. Well, whatever. One fell. Let's see if I can. Well, anyway, it's just a long, thin grass seed. I think it's grass. I don't know what it is. Maybe weeds. Whatever. But anyway, yeah, I got it all over my shirt, and I don't know how. I must have. No, I didn't lie down on the ground to do anything. I got them on my knee. I don't know. It's crazy. But so topics. Anyone? Bueller. Let's see what other topics we have out in the world today. Non-political. Minecraft. Nope. Non-gaming either. Seen too much of that lately. Unless we're talking the old capes. Supreme Court? Nope. That's political. Idol? Nope. That's entertainment. Not interested in that. Entertainment. Entertainment. Uh, Spider-Man remastered. Who cares? Echo the Dolphin. Man, the stuff that's trending. Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that later. Let me put it on my watch later list. You guys are gonna laugh, but um, BTS, Jimmy Fallon, and The Roots sing "Dynamite." Yeah, I like. There's a guy, Tompkins, who is fantastic. If you guys have ever seen, I one of my tastes, one of my loves, whatever is. And one of the things that you guys probably, some of you may know, but most of you don't know about me is that uh, I'm part of an a cappella band, or at least I was when I was younger. So we meet every now and then. Um, you guys, most of you know that I sing or sang in a choir for 30 some odd years, but a cappella as well. I really, really enjoy it. And there's this guy, Mike Tompkins, who on YouTube, Tompkins, I think. I'm not sure. Fantastic artist. He has created a bunch of wonderful mixes of just himself singing these pop songs and these classic songs and these, you know, old pop songs. And he'll do all the instruments. He'll do all the the bass, the guitar, all it with him, just him. And I do enjoy those videos. That's why I just saw one here. I'm definitely gonna look at that later. I've been watching when I'm up here. I've been watching Comet during the day, Comet TV, and they've got. I saw one that I haven't seen in a long time. It was this. They show monster movies every now and then. Uh, Godzilla, oh, Abira, that's it, or Abira. You know, there was a. Um, they showed uh, Abira, Horror of the Deep. Okay, it was a 1966 film with Godzilla, Mothra, and Abira. How many of you guys used to watch all the Godzilla movies growing up and stuff? I used to enjoy that. I mean, with uh, they had creature feature. They had a lot of different. Okay, why am I not caught up here? There we go. A lot of different monster movies. I remember just every now and then they had a Godzilla marathon, and it's always the same old horrible show, but it was just fun. It's fun to watch. The one with Perry Mason, that was funny. It's like, oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's like it was like two different. You're watching two different shows, just about. You watch Perry Mason saying something, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of Japanese people, all dubbed. It was just so funny. Good evening, Clyde. Good to see you. Your deck's pressure treated. I built it 20 years ago. Still good. Yeah, perfect. And I'm glad you said that, because that's probably the way I'm going. Is any deck that I have, I'm going to make sure to put some type of a a covering over it, um, and likewise stain it. I mean, I've got it's going on 5 years, but it's been exposed to the sun, and it's not pressure treated at all. The deck I made for my wife for the RV still in good condition. You know, hey Dennis, how's it going? Good to see you. Uh I get now the sinuses are kicking. Let me tell you, today has been, and I see from the comments from the different shows that it's not just me, but the today has been fantastic. The weather has been just incredible, absolutely incredible. I mean, what was it today up here? Hang on, I'll tell you right now. I woke up to 61 degrees. All right. And right now it's 64. So it went to a high of about 78. And then back down to 64. It's going to go down to 60 tonight, and then back up to 79 tomorrow. I mean, it is the clearest, bluest, sunny skies. Got that fresh, crisp smell in the air. You really want to wake up and you just want to do stuff. It's that motivating, you know. You just want to do stuff, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, carving. A carving question. Well, go right ahead, please. Ask away. Sorry I didn't catch that earlier. You got a carving questions, I got carving answers. Man, 50 here, 54 there, close to Detroit. Yeah, that's nice weather as well. I mean, shoot. I mean, this is the best time. Some days in March it'll get a little too cold. February, March, some days, but most of the time, that's the one nice thing about Central Florida. It's just 6 months out of the year. Well, you guys as well, but it's just the opposite 6 months. You guys up in Michigan, your summer months are wonderful. Mine, you know, it's just hot, and then these next 6 months, starting pretty much about now to October, November, December, January, February, March, and even April. So these next 7 months are are basically going to be super super cool, super nice, and great weather to work on. Yep, 1,000 miles north. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say a lot more than 1,000 miles, but I'm not in Miami. If I was in Miami, well, it's 700 just to Georgia, so just about. So, oh man, the stuffiness is just. Let's see. What are we looking at? We are looking at. Give me a second. Yep, 1,113.7 miles. Yeah. My neighbor sending me a message about another neighbor that's not very well liked in the neighborhood, and it brought it upon himself. If it, I'm not one. I'm not one who purposefully, gangs up on somebody. It's I believe in karma. They do it to themselves. They do it to themselves. Yeah, it's 1400 to Miami, Clyde. It's definitely 1400 to Miami. It's 1113 from here, from where I'm at to Detroit. I don't know how far away you live from Detroit, but you said you're right next to it. Go ahead, Dennis. Give me the problem. I'm always good for a. I always like puzzles. I like solutions. I like solving problems. I should form a YouTube channel, Problem Solver. Yeah, but then you get problems that you don't that you can't solve, and then you got a problem, a new problem. Oh, yeah. So it was. All right. So your Gatton is trammed within a few thou all around. Okay. That's good. All right. Let me just say this way. Shoot, period. I should join you, comma, but I have to drive 4 miles due to some nearby jerk, period. Yeah. I'll rephrase that. Who loves to report containers that have nothing to do with him, period. Okay, trying a 3D image and requiring start hang on a second. Let me put this up. I'm trying a 3D image and requiring starting with half end mill and 1/16th round nose bit for finish. Okay. So far so good. Yeah, my neighbor's shoot, I should have started earlier. I would have joined him. He's taking a swig or two of the good stuff. Uh yeah, there's a few things that you don't do when you're buzzed. Uh, Although I have a number of friends who have done it on a regular basis. Uh, some of you may have seen one or two of them, but anyway, you don't do YouTube when you're because then you end up saying stupid stuff, looking like an idiot, and everybody loses respect for you. Then again, if that's your thing, more power to you. But that's not me. Obviously, you don't drive. Don't woodwork. I enjoy a good, you know, cocktail to. I don't. I don't drink that often. Well, I'll tell you how much I. I'll tell you how much I do drink. There's a bottle of amaretto cream. First of all, I don't like beer. I don't like wine at all. Can't stand the taste. Uh, I like super super sweet liqueurs. And uh, one shot, which is not even enough to raise my blood alcohol level to a legal limit, will not impair me, but put me at that comfortable, relaxed level. I got a whole bottle in there. I've drunk it once, very small portion of it, and that was 4 months ago. I'm glad it lasts a long time and doesn't expire because one of those bottles will last me a whole year. I'm a wimp when it comes to that. What's the rest of the? Here we go. Okay. I was going to ask what the rest of it is. On the finished cut, it's getting off where it should, about a quarter to left across the x-axis. Everybody seems to be tight. Movement looks good. How can it be? Okay, so okay, so on the finish cut, it's getting off where it should. Oh, it's getting off where it should be about a quarter to the left across the x-axis. Okay. So you're losing steps, is what you're telling me. Is that correct? Is it consistently doing a few questions? Number one, are you losing steps? Number two, is it consistently doing the same thing every time you run it, or have you just tried it once? Yeah, because what happens is if um, try this test. Make a big square around almost the whole board. Uh, what I like to do is I have a test pattern that I use, but obviously you got to customize one to your thing. Make what I do is the following. I have a test pattern. Let me see if I could do it here to the camera. That does imagine a square with a cross in the middle. So you got four triangles. So mine goes up to the middle, back down, then up, then over to the middle, back to this one, then over again, down, that, and then do. And it does that like 5 times, that whole sequence. So basically, it's drawing a triangle, the triangle of the bottom, or whatever, the triangle on the side, going back up to the other point, drawing the triangle on the top of the square, going to this point, drawing the triangle on the other side, going back down, and then drawing the triangle at the bottom. So you've got a square with 4 triangles in the middle. So I mean, you got a square with a cross in the middle is what it looks like, and then you have your 4 triangles. Well, that's what I do. That and your entire length of the of your surface. Okay. Now, if you do that and you do that 5 times, basically you're running diagonals, you're running up and down, you're running left and right, and you're running long distances fairly quickly. And you're doing stops and starts. When you get back to the beginning, make sure your last one ends right at the same point you started. Measure it and see if it's off. Because if it's off by a quarter inch on the X or a quarter inch on the Y or both, then you'll know you're losing steps. And there's a couple reasons you may be losing steps. Let's see. Seems that way. Consistency along the entire path from the start. Yeah, because if you lose steps, the whole entire job will be off by a little bit because you've lost steps. It's happened to me on the Cam Master. And the Cam Master is a precision machine. Sometimes it's just a rare thing that it's a glitch. You do it again, and it'll go away. But take a good look at your couplers. There's a little trick. Put a little piece of either use whiteout or a Sharpie or one of those silver Sharpies, that draw on black as well, and draw a little line on both sides where the screw meets the coupler, where the shaft meets the coupler, and then and tighten it down. Okay, all 4 of them. If you move it around and you see that it was here, now it's off, you'll know that the coupler's loose. The only other thing it could be, if the coupler's not loose, then it's you may be losing steps from a bad connection. But then your machine would stop. I know because I just ran through that at home. One of my close to $20,000 rotary engraver, which is nothing more than a tiny CNC, is acting up in one direction. I still haven't gotten around to fixing it, but I know exactly what it is. Yeah. Exactly, Clyde. It's very possible that it's a loose coupling. Yeah. What you do is, Dennis, tight or not, make sure you put the little mark, and that way, whether they're tight or whether they're loose, because sometimes you could tighten it down till you're blue in the face, and you'll have to work out another. You'll have to sand down the shaft, the flat end on the shaft, or something, because it's or on the lead screw, because it'll still slip. Sometimes that happens, but usually if couplers slip in one direction, they'll slip in the other direction right back. So sometimes you can tell what it is, sometimes you can't, and it'll be inconsistent. That's why to test for couplers, you usually do an oval, because with an oval, then that tends to, with a circle. And then if it turns out oval, you've got a problem with the couplers, or with the calibration, obviously. But the other thing you might want to try is, depends on how fast you're running it. Some people overtax the unit. Put lithium grease on the lead screws. Make sure they're you don't have to have them greased, but it helps. Because if there's way too much resistance, that could cause it to lose steps. I got to tell you, I put my eye protection on to mow the lawn, and still sand and dust gets in there. You can't win. You just can't win. Let's see what we got here today. You're very welcome. Hopefully, let me know what it turns out to be, because I always like to hear the solution. You never know. Sometimes it's something you haven't thought of before. But I haven't seen any issues yet with the electronics. But then again, that's the other thing. If you tried to run this, the Javi box specifically, if you tried to run that at 400 inches per minute, you're just asking to be let down, because the Gatton at 400 inches per minute on a lead screw, because if it was on rack and pinion, that's a different story. I could probably handle double that speed on a rack and pinion system. But on a lead screw, you try to do 400 inches per minute, those things will lock up on you. But the funny thing about stepper motors, particularly in the Gatton and with a Javi box or any other box, when they lose steps, when they lose steps due to resistance, they lock. You know, in other words, if you've ever jogged one if you try to jog it at 600 inches per minute, it'll go and then just lock. It'll ramp up, and as soon as it goes past 300 or 400 inches per minute, maybe even up to close to 600, or maybe even it'll get to 600 for a little bit, but it cannot sustain it, and it'll go and it'll lock. Now, here's the thing with the program. If it locks at a fast speed in the program, as soon as the next command is issued, it'll start again. So that's also a possibility. And that's why I'm telling you, slow it down if you're going really fast, because it may be getting up to speed, or it may be just doing intricate moves that you're talking. If you've got a spindle, you're talking 17 to 25 pounds. If you got a router, maybe 10 pounds, 10 pounds. But either way, the box, the spindle, the gantry, you're probably looking at anywhere between 50 and 70 pounds that it's moving. It can easily move them. Oh, and if you're talking the Ys, then it's half that, because the two of them are moving at the same time. But let's say you're talking the X-axis, and you're moving that box back and forth, maybe 25, 30, 40 pounds, with all the plywood and all the hardware, all the the bolts, nuts and bolts, and the aluminum angles, all that. You're going back and forth. If you've got 40 pounds and it's moving this way rather quickly, and then all of a sudden you make it go this way, you're going to lose steps. It's got to slow down and then turn around. That's another option you might want to do, is change the, and I'll be happy to show you how to do that, is change the acceleration. Lower the acceleration. Your job will go slower, but it'll ramp up and it'll slow down slower, and then you won't lose steps. You know, in fact, I can probably I can't do it now until I get home, because I don't have access to Mach 3. But on the 10th, if you want, I could always shoot you a new profile with the acceleration lowered. It will slow the machine down, but the slower the machine runs, the more accurately it runs. Because, like I said, sometimes you're doing, like, say, a squiggly line or something, and lots of moves and up and downs and everything at the same time is moving to the if the machine moves this way, and then it moves this way, and then it moves this way. If I'm doing this, no big deal. But if I'm doing it real fast, I mean, I feel it in my hand. I mean, it wants to continue. So what happens? Jam, lose quarter step, and then it'll continue. And I mean, you get the idea. I don't have to go into any further explanation. But yeah, if you're running at 100 the whole time, that's not going to be an issue. That should not be an issue. Now, again, acceleration could be an issue, because even at 100, even at 50, if it accelerates quickly, then and I don't remember what I have it set at. I think I have set at 4 or 10. Yeah, mine accelerates relatively quickly, but I haven't had an issue. But again, it depends. And if you're if your bearings are and nobody's are, if your bearings are not exactly straight and your Gatton is not perfectly parallel or straight, and nobody's is to a 100,000th of an inch anyway, then there is the possibility that that might cause a little bit of drag in certain places. I remember when I first started testing the Gatton with my hobby box, and I pumped that thing up to 800 inches per minute. In one direction, no problem. The other direction, on the y-axis, one direction, it wouldn't be a problem. The other direction, when it got to a third of the way in one particular spot, it jammed up. It's not meant to run that fast. It doesn't have the power to run that fast, and you wouldn't want to. It'll rip your machine apart. I just wanted to see if I could do it. But yeah. Yeah, looks like we're down to 5, and I'll probably hang out for another 5 or 10 minutes and start see if I can get a little bit of work done before I go to sleep. Does anybody else have any other questions while I'm here about anything? Let's see what trend we have going on here. I have no idea. What the? Just you look at YouTube and you look at what's trending and you go, oh my God, this is just, where did the intelligence go? Where did the common sense for people go? Went right out the door. Some of the stuff I can understand is okay. It's kind of stupidish, but it's a trend. It's the kids like it. I understand. It's just not my taste. I get that, but some stuff is just beyond words. Beyond words. All right, let me see what we got here. Okay, so this particular time it ran out that quarter all the way up one side for about 10. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can. I'll definitely shoot you a note, but like I said, I have a Mac here, and I don't have Mach 3 is not available on the Mac. It's only on PCs. I don't have a PC here, so I have no way of even. You can ask Mark Lindsay. Mark Lindsay will if let's see, he's got the show I think he's got a question and answer on Sunday or whatever. I won't be home until not this weekend, but following weekend. But I'll gladly shoot you a note or remind me if I don't, because from here there I will likely forget. And it's under. Let me see if I can remember it. It's in Mach 3. It's not under ports and pins. It's under motor tuning, I think, under the config or general config or the config, motor tuning, and one of the things is acceleration. Now you have to choose your axis first because X is there by default, and if it says 10, bring it down to 6. If it says 4, bring it down to 3. But I believe I got it set to 10. Just bring it down to 4, and it'll slow down. And then you got to choose the axis. You got to change the number on the acceleration. It'll it'll be 4 or 6 or 10, something like that, and then just drop it down, and then you got to click save. And the same thing with the Y axis, just the Y axis. You don't need to do A or anything like that. So you got to do, and Z is, it's not giving you a problem, so you don't even have to mess with that one. Z is going slower anyways. I've got it maxed at 150, so, and I've got the other two maxed at 250. That's the speed, not the acceleration. The acceleration's 10 or something like that. And with that, folks, I think I'm going to call it a night. So unless you guys have something else, I'm going to get out there and start packing everything up so I can head back to the RV and get some sleep for a wonderful day tomorrow. You guys all have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Okay, if yours is at 4, Dave Krause, yeah, most of them. Dave Gatton said to put them at 4. With the hobby box, it could easily handle 10, but you might as well bring it down to 4. I just like to have a faster acceleration. But if it's causing problems, then by all means. But again, check the couplers, because that might very well be. Anyway, good night, all. Bye-bye.